I've queued going into Weston-super-Mare and I've queued coming out of it, and if you come into Bristol, you know what a nightmare it is travelling around it. Now, what would you do?
Well, we were talking about the causes of congestion, and I didn't go on to say that one of the problems is that the motor car has not been properly allowed for. Now, I've got nothing against public transport at all.
You go to California, where they built the whole state. The whole state of California is built predicated on the motor car. It is utter nonsense to think that any country is going to follow California down a road, which means parts of San Jose, which were only built in the 70s, there wasn't anything but orange groves before the 70s. They've got motorways, which are 8-lane motorways, which are 3 miles apart, parallel, right? They built a freeway, then they built another one, and they built another one. Within 4 years, packed. The Americans understand.
Completely missed the point. Can I just come back? Because I haven't finished.
You cannot build a town that will cater for all the cars.
Perhaps if I could just finish what I was going to say.
I'll let you finish. But
one of the problems we have is that you see on the piece that people are queuing up to get into town. Now, if there was more car parking, then people wouldn't be driving around looking for somewhere to leave their car. They could get in, dump the car and get on with their work.
Where would you put car parking in Bristol?
There are plenty of empty spaces around in Bristol that could be used
This is an amateur person talking in amateur sense. We've got examples right around the world where they built whole city centres 5 layers thick with car parks. It's not the car parks. It's a nice idea, but frankly, any expert will tell you it doesn't work. It's a nice idea. It's a sort of person in the pub idea. It's a sort of prepubescent idea. It really is not working. And I think it's so sad that people give you the time of day to talk about it. Heidelberg has 4 layers of car park in its city centre right across the whole car park. It's not that. The problem is you can't get a car. I run a breakdown organisation. I like cars. I'm not anti-car. I'm just saying the pragmatic modelling shows that you cannot base a city on the car. No, the car, only city in the world that's based on the car is Houston, that's based on the car, and they're finding the whole of their society is collapsing. It's very tough.
One reason people say they use their cars is because we haven't got decent public transport. Open any local paper, you see people moaning about the buses. We've got virtual private monopolies in your neck of the woods with Stagecoach, in much of the rest of the region with First Group. The government's done nothing about that. These companies can charge what they want, run services, cancel them when they want. You've done nothing about it.
Sorry, Richard, I was just sitting back and enjoying that for a moment, but you see just how impassioned this argument is. Right. But in terms of the buses, rail, road, it's all part of the solution. It's got to work together. But part of the difficulties we've got, you mentioned the buses, there's actually been a 24% decrease since deregulation, and the Tories did actually sell off an awful lot of bus services. But we've seen since 1999...
Your government's done absolutely nothing about that.
That's where you're wrong. Hang on, come on, let me answer your question now, Richard. Since 1999, we've actually seen more bus journeys. And good news stories. Good news stories. Well, you talk about London. What about Gloucester? But in terms of rail, one of the things that you won't be covering is the fact that we're about to see a doubling of the service, the rail service from Birmingham to Gloucester and from London to Gloucester, and we'll now have hourly trains, and that's got to be part of the solution.
But it's an interesting argument. The thing is, Hugh is right in the sense that we are car-based society. 85% of our journeys are by car, and therefore that's why we come out with this. We've got to rationalise how we use the car. Because if you double the number of people travelling by rail between 2 cities, you find that only 4 people went last week, and it's doubled up to 8. That outside of London, hardly anyone in significant terms travels by rail. It is not going to be part of the solution, much though that we would like it to be.
I cannot accept that's ridiculous.
What?
I mean, I travelled up to London on Tuesday. I went to the House of Commons on Tuesday for a meeting, and the train was full. It was absolutely full to capacity. And it was, you know, one of these 125 things, you couldn't get anybody else on it.
60% of all the journeys in this country start or end in London, which is what I said. So they're virtually involving London. If you doubling of any other routes, the Crossrail, they do not answer the 85% people travelling by car. Well, they will go at the margin.
Because you don't get people doubling a service if they don't think they're going to make any money out of it, quite frankly.
I'm not knocking it, but I'm not saying it's not the answer.
A train cannot do the journey that you want to do by car.
That's right.
For a start, you've got to go down to the station, and then you've got to get your train, and it may not go where you want to go. It's going to cost you far more than it would go by car anyway, even if there's just one of you. I mean, it cost me £56 to go to London and back. Well, I could do that easily on half a tank of petrol or diesel.
that's the argument you've got to win over somehow, Andrew. Just right now, people say that's a hell of a lot of money to get on a train and go cheaper by car. Very
Absolutely.
briefly.
Our view as an organisation, you choose the route that serves you best as a rational decision maker. What we want is congestion charging coming in to make you make the right rational decision, the decision that's important for you, that is also, by so doing, also the best decision for society. At the moment, people are making rational decisions which are in conflict of what we all need as a society.
In other words, gentlemen, we've got to end. Sorry, time has flown by. We've had a fantastic and heated discussion. We have to end it there. I'm sure you might want to comment on something you've heard from tonight. Email us, write to us, whatever. Bob's got all the details.
Yes, we haven't moved. We couldn't afford the petrol, I don't suppose. We're still at the same address, Punchbag at ITV.